So we're testing out the new podcast room with the new setup with my friend Anna.
Hi, everyone.
Looking gorgeous today.
Thank you. I'm trying the new slick hair back. I want to show my face more for the new year. So,
This setup has the ability to change cameras. Right now we're using mine, and it gives you that really cool effect with the nice blur in the background. And then we can switch over to Anna's camera.
hi.
So, Anna, why don't you tell about yourself and what you do?
Of course. So, my name is Anna Yancy. I also go by Anna the Marketer. And I have a branding and marketing agency called Step One Strategy based here in Miami.
And so, how long has that been? How long has that been a thing?
Step One has been around since December of last year. So, we just made a year. But I have been in marketing since I was in college.
That's amazing. What kind of companies do you focus on?
Right now, we are focusing a lot on startups and tech companies, but we are making a shift to personal branding as well.
And what does personal branding entail? What is that?
Yeah, so personal branding is, I'm sure people have seen hints of it, it's up and coming. But basically, what you start to realize, so imagine Elon Musk, right? He has his own brand outside of Twitter, outside or X, I guess, outside of Tesla. So it's one of these things where we're going to bring people that are experts in their field, but haven't necessarily been sharing their thoughts and leadership. And it's upbringing them and showing more of who they are and the expertise that they bring, whether it's to the company or just the world.
Personal branding, I think, is really important, and I think a lot of people don't understand. We all have a personal brand, whether we put effort into it and control it or not. We all have a personal brand, and if we don't, I said this before, but the streets will run wild. Will run wild with your personal brand. So you might as well manage it.
Absolutely. And it makes a big difference. I think a lot of the times people work backwards, right? So they try to build the company's brand and don't really focus on their brand. I have done this for many years, and this is a 1 year where I'm coming out with my own brand. But if you really realize that you can just focus on your own expertise and bring that and then eventually lead your audience to your company, it's a so much simpler funnel and it already establishes a lot of credibility for yourself.
I think credibility is so important. I, you know, I do a lot of personal branding myself. I'm. It's funny. I'm more known as Volvo Shine than I am as Ryan,
Yeah.
and that's my brand. It might be a silly brand and whatever, but it's what I'm known for. More people know me that, "Oh, that's Volvo Shine. My name's Ryan," but, you know.
Yeah, that's how I met you. I saw you on Twitter a couple of times and I met you at an event and I was you're the guy from Twitter.
Yeah, it is funny. Have I told the story of how I ended up with that name?
No.
So, I was making a Hotmail account back in, I don't know, 2016 or something? No, sorry, not 2016, 2006,
Wow. Okay.
and at the time, I owned a bright orange Volvo station wagon from the factory, bright orange. And I was making the email address, and I looked out my window, and the Volvo was out there. It was glinting in the sun,
Yeah.
and so I was, "Volvo shine," and I was, "That works." And but this was right around the time Twitter was starting to blow up
Mm,
for the first time,
yeah.
and I just stuck it became my Twitter name, and then I became a blogger, and I became somewhat well known. It just sort of went
Yeah.
from there. So it's I think whatever your brand is, as long as you embrace it and as long as you put effort into it, I think it can be anything you want it to be.
Absolutely. And I think a big part of it, so for me, a big part of not wanting to create my own brand was because I didn't want to share my story. I was, oh, I don't want to be personal with it. To be a private person. And I didn't really understand that you don't have to share everything about yourself, right? You share, at least for me, like, I talk about marketing. It's what I'm good at. Other than that, you probably won't know a lot else about me. But it's realizing that it's not everything that you have to say. It's just what you, and if you base it on what you really, it becomes so simple. You don't feel you have to keep up an act.
Absolutely. I was talking to a business owner this week, and I was doing sort of what you do.
Yeah.
And I was talking to them and talking about the brand, and she was, "Oh, I don't want to be in it really. I want to be its own brand." And I was, "That's not how it works. If you're a founder, an entrepreneur, especially a solo one, and you have a consumer facing brand, you are the brand." And that's really hard to get across to people because people they don't want to feel like they're bragging or egotistic or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I had to tell 'em, your face is the brand.
No, for sure. It definitely, and again, I've gone through all those feels. Oh, I don't want to feel I'm bragging. Oh, I don't want to be judged. That was one of my main things. I don't want to be judged. What if people, the way that I look, my accent, this and that, oh, I talk too much with my hands. But you're right, especially if you're in a service-based business, your expertise is what you're selling here.
And not to be shallow, but also if you are a founder and you're any sort of physical attractive, any type, whatever it may be, whatever flavor you are, you need to use that, I think.
It definitely helps, right? There's actually been studies that you believe more from a person or, if someone's telling you a statistic and they're better looking, you will believe it more.
Yeah, it's kind of, a doctor with a doctor coat on. They're telling medical things.
No, you're right. And here in Miami, it's a big part of how we
Yeah,
network here. I hate
exactly.
to say it, but
It
it's
it
true.
it's and I have a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs and very attractive,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are afraid to use that. And I'm, "No, use the face, use the body, whatever, like,
Yeah.
whatever you wanna do,
Make it work.
because that's that's God's gift to you. Use it to get what you want."
It's true. And I think that combined with your own story and whether it's, again, it doesn't have to be the entire thing. People don't need to know what your birth was, but just the parts that make it significant enough to show that you are a credible person in the industry. I think once you blend those two together, it really can come out to a beautiful brand that you enjoy doing.
And I think that's the important part is you have to enjoy doing it. You have to believe in it, and you have to you one thing I learned a lot recently is that you have to get comfortable with self-promotion. And that it's funny because I'm a pretty good marketer. I can market almost anything. But myself, oh my word. It's like I freeze every time. It's time to market yourself. And I'm
No, but you know what? It's you're always better at giving somebody else advice than you are giving it to yourself.
yeah.
And this, I think it's just human nature for us. We're so good being everybody else's cheerleaders, but when it comes to ourselves, we don't tend to be the same because we do feel maybe it's ingrained in us. Like, oh no, that's selfish. But it's not. You have to root for yourself. You have to move your business forward. You have to share your business 20 times a day. Like I
Oh,
do
yeah.
because guess what? My friends are not going to be reposting it for me.
There's something so there's this new trend on Twitter, and I've somebody complaining about it, but there's this new trend where people will post something, whatever it may be, could be a picture of their dog or something. And then when that gets a few likes, they post a thing to their newsletter or their funnel after every single tweet. And listen, I know about promoting stuff on Twitter. I promote the hub every 18 seconds,
Yeah.
but that tweet in itself is a promotion.
Yeah.
I don't mix the two things. For me, if I'm
Yeah.
posting like a picture of a construction site,
Yeah.
which I do a lot of, I don't tag it,
Go visit the
go visit the hub on the next tweet. That to me is just,
I know.
oh,
It they'll learn the lesson eventually because they'll start losing followers or something or
it's
less
just,
engagement.
and there are people that do it that I respect.
Yeah. Oh,
But,
some of them that you know.
oh, absolutely.
Oh my god. That's more embarrassing.
And I'm just, I can't handle it. I can't deal with it.
Twitter is it's actually one of the best platforms that I like to use for myself. However, I don't like managing other people's Twitter's account because it's so personal. That you really have to get to know to the person. It'll probably take me like 5 hours sit down to just get their personality and truly be able to replicate that. For companies, though, it's very easy to do because, you're just sharing the expertise of the company.
Well, the one of the things about Twitter is that it's one of the very few things where you do have to be authentic and very open.
Yeah.
It's not like Instagram, your best happy, shiny life.
It's your aesthetic.
It's aesthetic. Twitter is interesting because, for one, the algorithm is pretty terrible. It doesn't work very well.
Mm-mm.
The suggestion and all of
Yeah.
that. So it mainly relies on people you follow.
Yeah.
There is a small algorithm there, but
It got terrible after Elon Musk.
yeah.
No bash to him, but
Well, it's always been terrible.
yeah. And
Ever since they launched the For You or the non
yeah.
sequential timeline, it's been terrible. That's been 4 years. But that's on a good note for that.
Yeah.
It allows you to sort of make your own not worldview. It allows you to have your own stream that's not really influenced by too many algorithms. On the other side of that, when you post on Twitter, the stuff people react to isn't the overproduced, deep think stuff.
Mhm.
It's off top of your head. My Twitter is straight off top of my head. I never plan it, and I'm not good at planning it. If I make it I made a couple of those long threads in my
Yeah.
Twitter career, and
It didn't.
it didn't
Yeah.
do anything. But the one I just when I'm at 2 a.m. just in my bed thinking, oh, this is hilarious. Click, and then it goes viral.
That was always my Twitter that I was, what if all the thoughts in my head, if I start putting that out there, it's not gonna go well. So, and even now I do a mix of some are my thoughts in my head and some are, okay, we're gonna stay very expertise wise, just because.
Also, speaking of things I dislike about Twitter, while we're on that topic, one of the things that algorithm Twitter looks for is engagement. It
Mm,
really loves engagement.
yeah.
Really, it does. And people game it by they'll put up a tweet that is semi controversial or a question, and people will respond, and they will respond to every single reply, every single one.
Mm.
Sometimes just an emoji or a thing, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just so cringy to me. I know it. I know it's a growth hack. The people doing it know it's a growth hack. It's just like, come on, bro.
I just feel like the conversation gets, after a while, it just, there's nothing else to say, right? If someone's great work, why am I gonna
Yes,
take my time and say things? Just
exactly.
gonna move
Like
on.
Twitter isn't. It's not like a text message.
Right. Yes.
It is a conversation, but you don't need to punctuate it.
Every single part of it. Yeah. It becomes redundant.
It does.
Yeah.
So, anyways, any new marketing trends we should be aware of going to 2024 that
Whew.
you are interested in?
That I'm interested in. I just made a post about this, 5 marketing trends. So one thing I thought, you know what? I think we're gonna see a lot more cartoon versions of people.
The AI ones?
Not necessarily, yes, yeah, it's gonna be used, but just kind of like the memojis, but a better version of that. So I think there's gonna be a trend of more.
The Snapchat ones where it puts a thing over your face?
Oh, I haven't seen that. You mean the mask ones?
Yes, but it does like a Pixar sort of version of it.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've seen those, but probably that. So more
Yeah.
cartoon versions of ourselves, I see that. I think
Why?
so they're still trying to play with this metaverse and augmented reality twist, and there's brands that are playing around with it a lot. So I
Mhm.
think we're still in that stage where we're gonna see that come out a little bit more. Remember, they tried NFTs, didn't necessarily
Yeah.
work out, but they're still pushing for it. So I think in order to make it more personalized, we are gonna see little versions of ourselves more in cartoon version. And I won't say it'll be mainstream adoption at all, but I see that coming. One thing that I am keeping my eye out for is brands creating their own people and
Oh,
monetizing
like an
it.
AI influencer?
Yes, AI influencers. It's already been started for a little bit, hasn't gone mainstream again, but I do see brands launching that out more because it's been happening. It's proven that it's making money, which is the scary part, that it is making money. So I will that was another one that I see coming
Okay,
as well. Yeah.
cool. Where do you think the marketing focus is gonna be in 2020?
Oof, that's a good one. I mean, marketing focus, I think it is personal brands. It's more of that, but I think a lot of these marketing gurus that are telling you to make $100 million in 3 months are, yeah, I think those we're gonna see less of that per se, and those brands and marketing tactics that are going to really come forward are those people that are creating their own personal brand, but creating a community around it. And I know it gets pushed all the time, but community is not necessarily everyone that's into this topic is going to go into this group. It's more about the people that relate to you and your thoughts are going to follow you, and those that don't are going to go elsewhere. So I think that's really the brands that are going to succeed. And I think even big brands are having this issue, whether they're trying to create a community for themselves, right? But you know, technology advances so fast and there's a new shiny object each time, that it's, how do you curate that? How do you make your loyal customer base when.
Well, thank you for all of that. It's been great. It's been a great test of this. I feel like we could probably talk for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I see my voice. I have a podcast with other Anna.
I know. I've
Others.
been running into her, I want to say 3 times a week.
You
Just
guys live like
randomly.
close together.
We do, yeah. And we just keep popping up at each other's places and we're like, hey.
You know, it's funny. Well, technically, there's 4 Annas in my life. Anna,
Yeah.
podcast Anna,
Yeah.
Anna, you, Anastasia, and
Yeah.
then my best friend's husband's mom is Cuban. She's named Anna too. She's the one in my photos.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's the one that called me her gringo
Yeah.
boyfriend,
Oh.
and they're all Annas. In my life, the Anna, Kevin, Kyle, and someone else quota is full. I can't have any more. If you want to be my friend, you have to
Yes, wait on the wait list for one
Yes.
to drop out and
Yes.
then come in.
So, okay, guys, thank you for watching, and this will hopefully be a good test.
Uh,
Thanks, Anna.
Of course. Thanks.